Good day, grade 11 students. Welcome to Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person. We are in Quarter 1, Module 2, Methods of Philosophizing. Now let's unscramble. Number 1, it is a mental grasp of reality reached either by perceptual observation or by a process of reason based on perceptual observation. Okay. Next, this is a science devoted to the discovery of the proper method of acquiring and validating knowledge. Go, go, go! Next, it is an abstract or generic idea generated from particular instances. Very good. And lastly, this knowledge is validated, which means that it is highly based on facts or reality. So that was great. We should remember that truth is one of the significant lessons in philosophy. It has been a topic of discussion on its own right for many years. Moreover, its value and influence to a man's life cannot be denied. So what is truth for you? What is the meaning of truth? Okay, very good. So we should remember that the methods of philosophizing would equip you with knowledge and skills in acquiring wisdom and truth, unlike science, which uses observations through experiments. In proving a theory, philosophy utilizes pure reasoning to investigate a certain reality or phenomenon to arrive at a certain truth. Now, let's go with this activity. Comic strip. Take a look and analyze the comic strip and answer my question. After looking at the comic strip, do you agree with the reasoning of the person inside the car? Why or why not? Next, if you are a biker, how would you react to the remarks of the person inside the car? So, very good. Philosophers generally believe that reason is the road to wisdom. However, they have different interpretations of what reason consists of, and some philosophers even challenges the preeminence of reason in the pursuit of wisdom. Here we are going to explore some of the methods of philosophizing that philosophers employ. According to Wilbert in 2006, think of wisdom as the amount of the mountain with different paths to get there. We are going to study the different paths to wisdom that philosophers offer. So we will be discussing about different fallacies. We should remember it is not enough to acquire knowledge, but you should analyze if that knowledge you have acquired is truthful or not. Philosophizing involves the gift of speech and the gift of intelligence that enable us to reason out and detect the falsity or truthfulness of a statement. When one reasons out, he or she expresses his opinion, and when others disagree, then an argument begins. In philosophical parlance, argument is not an emotional reptilian word war or a territorial show of force between persons, but a philosophical method in knowing the truth of a certain phenomenon or reality. It is a set of declarations which includes the premises and conclusion. The latter is the one that claims and the truth of the premises. What are the different fallacies? These are arguments that are erroneous or based from faulty reasoning, which is called fallacies. Unconsciously, we are culprits of this in our daily interaction with the people, including our families and friends. Even TV commercials intentionally employ some faulty reasoning to convince their target market to purchase their products. Lawyers outwit each other by employing some fallacies to defend their clients. I am sure you are aware with the famous flip-top battles. The group in which is familiar in the today's digital world. Shall we say a modern dialectical approach which appeal not only to the mind but also to our aesthetic sense. They entertain audience and it's awesome how they display their wit to outsmart each other in a poetic manner. It becomes an art and appealingly superb, but if you go beyond the performance and analyze their statements, there are a lot of defective reasoning going on. Abella Roberto, in his book Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person, laid down some of these fallacies. So let's start. Number 1, Argumentum ad hominem, or attacking the person. Hominem came from the Latin word homo, which means man. This fallacy literally means hitting the person below the belt instead of focusing on the issue at hand. Example, how can we believe him when he talks about social distancing? He is a lawyer who is a liar. Next, argumentum ad baculum, or appeal to force. Baculum is a Latin word which means scepter or stick. A scepter is a symbol of authority. Normally, it is the Pope who carries it in his hands. This is committed when a person uses threat or force to advance an argument. Example, TV Patrol is the best news program on TV. If you don't believe me, I won't let you watch the TV. Number 3, argumentum ad misericordiam, appeal to piety. Misericordiam came from the Latin word misericordia, which means piety or compassion. A person uses emotion such as piety to convince someone. Example, forgive me, officer. There are a lot of boarders in this apartment, including myself. Only the owner was issued a quarantine pass. We don't have food. We can't give our ATM to the owner. That's why I went out. So I did not violate the Bayanihan Act. Heal us 1. Number 4, argumentum ad populum, or appeal to people, also known as bandwagon fallacy. Populum is the Latin word for people. Most of TV commercials are guilty of this argument, which exploit people's vanity, desires, etc. Example, I'm sure you want to have an iPhone. Almost 80% of your schoolmates are using it. Number 5, argumentum ad ignorantiam, or appeal to ignorance. Ignorantiam is a Latin word for ignorance. Whatever has been proven false must be true and vice versa. According to Zachariah Sitchin, the author of the book Cosmic Code, Adam was the first test tube baby, since nobody proves otherwise. Therefore, it is true. Next, petitio principii, begging the question. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, it is a fallacy in which conclusion is taken for granted in the premises, also called circular argument. Example, God exists because the Bible says so. The Bible is inspirational, therefore we know that God exists. Hasty generalization. This fallacy is committed when one reaches a generalization based on insufficient evidence. Example, our neighbor, who is a police officer, was convicted of being a drug dealer. Therefore, all police officers are drug dealers. So that's all for today. I hope you have understand all the fallacies, and later we will have a quizzes and you should answer it later. I will send the Google, the quizzes code in the group chat. So now I want you to recap. What did you learn for today? Can you complete the open-ended statement? I have learned that anybody, you can use the raise hand icon to answer. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. And that's all for today, and see you again in our lesson 3. God bless all of you and stay safe.